All right, lads, this week in Destiny, I haven't done these in quite a while. I'm on some new hardware. Forgive me if it's a little bit rough. 1st of May, 80 years after a certain someone killed himself. Good day for humanity, 80 years later. Anyway, this week in Destiny, you solved the puzzle, Chestiny, May 6th, the reveal, Heavy Metal Tournament, new game mode, update 8.2.6, the balance update that everybody's been waiting for literally forever. 3 new weapons added soon, TM, trademark, and celebrating AANHPI heritage. Of course, you solved it. The Chestiny, the chess puzzle, I think it took a grand total of, what is today? Today's Thursday, so not even 48 hours. Yeah, pretty much. This is the cinematic. I'm not going to play the cinematic. It'll be in the description below if you actually want to watch it. It's a little bit interesting. It doesn't reveal much, it just says like, hey, it's going to be a drifter-focused season, a little bit of a lore dump. He's going to be our main handler. I mean, that's kind of what we can infer from this, but kind of figured Drifter 9. That's kind of the whole next year of Destiny type event. New emblem. If you watch the reveal stream for 15 minutes, they usually run the stream for like 3, maybe 4 hours, depending on how long it is. This is a big DLC reveal, technically, the Edge of Fate. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Vidoc involved somewhere around here as we get closer to the release date for Edge of Fate. Anyway, by 15 minutes, get a cool emblem. Not as cool as any of the day one emblems, but no, this is a really cool emblem. I do mess with this. Qualifiers for the heavy tournament bracket. I'm definitely not going to be able to get to participate in this. I have a job. Day job. Anyway. Sandbox preview, abilities, Crucible only. The majority of this patch is just Crucible changes. Crucible has been a cesspool for quite a while now, but for Prismatic Supers, reduced Prismatic Super specific cooldown penalty from 10% to 5%. The recent penalty, the super cooldown time while Prismatic feels a little bit too strong. We've walked it back partially to make it more likely Prismatic Superclasses will be able to get their super in longer trials and competitive matches. I don't really use Prismatic in Crucible, so I didn't even know that. I honest to God, wouldn't even be able to tell you that they nerfed supers. Hunter, unfortunately, on the Prowl Void aspect, the class I do play is too strong in PvP. You saw that. I saw that coming from a mile away. Reduced PvP prey finding range from 45 meters, 25 meters. I feel like this is a little bit too hard of a hit. 45 meters, a big circle. 25 meters is a significantly smaller circle. I know 20 meters of a 20 meter radius doesn't sound like a lot, but a 20 meter radius, it is crazy. Just losing that. Anyway, and reducing the hunt time to 15 seconds from infinite. I understand. It adds a little bit of urgency, but unlike One Eye Mask, On the Prowl is meant to be more of a... They use lore justifications and they use styles, and they definitely like to use power fantasies. The power fantasy of On the Prowl is, in my mind, supposed to be you just sit back and chill, wait for people to fall into your trap, and adding a 15-second timer to it, it adds urgency. We'll see how it is. Warlock, Lightning Surge, Arc Aspect can feel frustrating to play both with and against, as it feels like the damage against players can be highly variable. Clamp the variability of Lightning Surge damage against players and slightly increase the minimum damage dealt and reduce the maximum damage dealt, just bringing the cone a little bit further in each direction to make it a little bit more consistent. Warlock, Withering Blade, Stasis, and Prismatic. Melee, underperforming a PvP, need the PvE consistency buff, increases tracking strength and increasing damage by 10%. The Stasis changes when Beyond Light dropped the glaives. You had 2 of them. Used to be able to insta-freeze. They were overpowered, genuinely. They broke them. There genuinely was no reason to use Withering Blades compared to any of the other, compared to your throwing knife or your smoke grenade, or even in some cases compared to like your blinding arc melee on Prismatic. It was just There was really no reason to do it just because the Withering Buds, they just sucked. They really did. The only thing they did in Prismatic was just let you proc Radiant a little bit easier, but the tracking kind of blowed. So more often than not, you were just going to miss it. So hopefully the tracking helps. You know, I would have been happy with just increased tracking, just to make up proc and Radiant a little bit more consistent. All throwing melee knives. Fixing an issue where throwing knives aren't tracking properly. They should now track more consistently. Lightweight knife increases the tracking shape by 10%, Nutriking the tracking strength by 20%, and fan of knives increases the tracking shape by 15%. Throwing knives without using something like Caliban's Hand or Aethers' Embrace. Aethers' Embrace, if you weren't using consistency exotics, the throwing knives didn't seem like they were doing a lot. Admittedly, I'm not cracked. You gotta be fucking kidding me. All right, back to where I was. I'm not cracked, so I was encountering some issues while using it. But hey, listen, if you're throwing blocks that are a little bit larger, you'll hit people more better. That's pretty much it. And On the Prowl Assassination is now providing an instant bump of ability energy instead of doling it out over time. This makes eliminating target more immediately satisfying. It makes it easier for whipping in PvE. Reduce Prey Finding cooldown from 0.5 to 0.01 or 0.1 rather, and ability energy is now granted instantly instead of over time. These are just consistency changes. The Prowl has always been good. This is just going to make it better, more consistent. And Warlock for Lightning Surge, slightly increase the fallout melee suppression time after Lightning Surge to match Shoulder Charge and other similar abilities. The bullshit slide melee of the Warlock where I hate that melee so bad. The fact that you were able to just spam melees out of it, it was pretty much an insta-kill if you just didn't have a special weapon primed to one-shot. Anyway, weapon updates, legacy frames. Pretty much Regix, this is it. This is a targeted nerf exclusively at Regix because they just forgot to balance it. And just looking at this data, I'm not going to pretend to understand it, even though this is literally what I do for a living, but understand that this variation is insanity, and it is crazy that they knew about this the entire time and they waited until they had this isn't even live. Like, they're still waiting. Like, these aren't even going live yet. Like, they have let this shit slide since the beginning of the episode. Like, the minor nerfs that they have added to Regix has done nothing. I don't know. Sometimes they're balancing decisions. Sometimes their balancing decisions confuse me. Anyway, rapid fire pulse rifles increasing base damage from 14.5 to 15, and increasing precision damage from 27.6 to 27.8. Consistency changes. It doesn't buff their optimal time to kill. All right. Consistency changes. It doesn't buff their optimal time to kill. We'll have to test it. See what kind of ranges we can squeeze out now. A bit more range, sure. Heavy burst slugs. All right, we're just going to ignore that. Increasing damage by 8%. Nobody uses these. There's like one. Is there two or is there one? I don't know. One of them is from Festival of the Lost is garbage, and if there's a second one, I don't even know. Nobody uses them because they're bad. Order Wolves. Reduce hipfire damage and PvE by 30%. This isn't going to do anything. It's still going to be able to average like 5 million DPS. It's not 5 million damage per second, but the damage it does right now, I don't think a 30% hit is going to do too much, at least against the legacy bosses. Legacy bosses are still going to fall over versus Lord of Wolves. Maybe Lord of Wolves won't be the best option, but I highly doubt that just a 30% damage reduction is going to do anything. The rework isn't. The rework is what made Lord of Wolves broken, not the base damage of it. Wrist Runner gets +1 zoom. Sure. Truth and Twin-Tailed Fox increases the amount of ammo picked up from ammo kits and Crucible from 1 to 2. Let's go! Twin-Tailed Fox is... I am looking at Twin-Tailed Fox exclusively. I'm not even looking at Truth. Twin-Tailed Fox is my favorite exotic rocket launcher in the game, by far. I don't care about anything else. Twin-Tailed Fox is amazing. I've always loved it. Awesome catalyst, by the way. And Truth, also, only having one rocket... Truth only having 1 rocket felt really bad considering that in Destiny 1 you used to get 3 whenever you pick something up. It just doesn't feel good to use Truth. Truth is one of those, like, the people that played Destiny 1 that then went on to work at Bungie for Destiny 2 and hated going up against Truth and Crucible, nerfed it into the ground. And it hasn't been good since Seasonal Opulence. And it wasn't even good during Seasonal Opulence. Like, I killed Githalion with it once in a game of Gambit, and he hasn't played Destiny since. I wish I had that clip, but trust me, it happened. And also, Finality's Augur increased the duration that the target is painted to match the duration of the turret. Cool. This thing is it's a cumbersome exotic to use, considering it's supposed to be a fire and forget type beat, but you had to keep it out for a very long time to paint bosses over and over again because it would just, like, stop shooting. Now, the environment target marker marks additional targets that enter the zone after its initial creation. Awesome. Grants an automatic reload from reserves after dueling a target. Awesome. Reduce turret self-damage by 85%. Awesome. And increase turret damage by 10%. I don't think this will take it into the top tier, but these are all consistency changes that... The fact that the turret is able to kill itself in the first place is kind of crazy. So if you get a misplacement or if it tracks into a wall, which happens very, very frequently if you're not, like, placing it quite literally just in the middle of an open field, it'll probably end up killing itself at some point. These are all good changes. Is it gonna bring it to the top of the damage meta? Yet to be seen. Linear fusion rifles aren't the best right now. This is it's more of a funny haha. I like using it. I like using it in funny activities. Now for Hunter, it's time. The goal RDM's rework was to introduce a new style of gameplay to PvP centered around aggressive close-range play with primary weapons. While this has happened in practice, we've received a large amount of feedback that the playstyle itself is fun to use. We need to make sure at its peak it is still in band with other playstyles that exist in high-end Crucible gameplay. Is it fun to just hip-fire people into oblivion? It's a cool gimmick to use with Tech's mechanical weapons. I wouldn't say it's particularly fun. A lot of people are having fun because it's strong. It's fun because it's strong. In addition, so the Hunters don't have all the hipfire and fun recruits to grant hipfire and range damage accuracy benefits from primary weapons post-reduction to an exotic, each on Warlock and Titan, which will all be discussed below. I already see one of them that they're doing it on right here, and oh my god, those animals. Reduce bonuses granted to primary weapons when hip firing. Reduce accuracy bonuses. Reduce aim assist fall off. The aim assist fall off is going to hurt. The accuracy bonus we can live with, but the aim assist is definitely going to hurt. Further reduce the accuracy bonus of custom tuned exotics, including last fired by an additional 25%. Although dodge uptime is already lower in RDM, since some other Hunter exotics want to reduce class ability refunds. Reduce class ability refunded to 20% per kill, while you do not have full class ability energy. And wow, the plus 50 airborne effectiveness bonus is always active, not when you're just hip firing airborne. Welcome back, Lion Ramparts. Welcome back. And added the accuracy and range hipfire bonuses. And you know what? Sure, fuck it. Let's just give it to Lunafaction boots too. So let's take the only thing special. I don't want to say the only thing that's special. Let's take these special things from Radiant Dance Machines. To be fair, Radiant Dance Machines' gimmick was to just dodge, and they just completely reworked the exotic. I feel like this mechanic of hip firing, they may have seen it was too good to only keep on one class and tried to give it to other classes kind of as a coping mechanism. I don't want to say similar to Aeon Swifts, Aeon Safes, like similar to the Aeon Cult exotics, how, you know, they all do the same thing between 3 classes. Or, you know, Crest Alpha Loop by Destiny 1 things. I'm not sure that this is going to feel good long term, especially considering Lion Ramparts on Titan. So some Titan main who works at Bungie, some Titan main who got hired recently, said to themselves, let's make Lion Rampart strong again. It's my favorite exotic in the game. I want SMGs to be the best weapon type in Crucible again. It's time for an SMG meta, and yeah, I'm scared, honestly. I'm drawing special attention to this because this is a scary thing. This really is a scary thing. Anyway, 3 new rewards: Nature Acclaimed, Solar, Lightweight Scout Rifle, Honk Shoe, the Inquisitor, Honk Shoe, and Nightfall, Cruel Mercy, Arc Heavy Burst, Pulse Rifle, Amalon, Foundry, Honk Shoe. Give me some real perks. I just kind of have a problem with reused models. The only thing I can hope is that Nature Reclaimed isn't going to have a reused model, but you know, we haven't got like a new weapon model in quite a while, so we'll see. Are these perks going to be any good? Is there anything redacted? Nothing redacted on any of these. Nothing redacted. Nothing new. Killing Wind, Outlaw, Heal Clip, Lone Wolf, Rapid Shootaloo, Desperate Measures, Kill Clip, Incandescent, Precision Instrument, Box, Breathing, Explosive Payload. I mean, it's a lightweight scout. I could see some reason to, I mean, maybe see some reason to use Rapid Hit and Explosive Payload. Damage breaks really aren't going to be good on this thing. So Box Breathing, Precision Instrument, Kill Clip, probably not going to be good. Heal Clip Incandescent is always a solid option. This could be the Scout Rifle version of, what's it called? Heliocentric. So getting something else good with Heal Clip and Incandescent is never a bad idea in my mind. I feel like this thing is going to be a lot like Succession, or whatever the Deepstone Crypt Solar lightweight or rapid fire scout rifle is, whatever. I feel like this is going to feel a lot like that. The Inquisitor is the Inquisitor. Is there anything new on this? I don't recognize anything new, but it is a Arc Precision Slug. Lone Wolf is getting nuked. Closing Time is getting nuked. Besides that, is there anything else? We have Opening Shot, Slide Shot. As always, those are pretty much the only things you're going to be wanting on a Crucible weapon, aka an Arc Precision Slug shotgun. So, Closing Time. A Cruel Mercy, Arc Heavy Pulse. It's Omalon. Who's using this? This thing is dead on arrival. Dragonfly Jolting Feedback. Looks like it could be good. Besides that, nobody's using this. Yeah, nobody's using this. Get Dragonfly Jolting Feedback and hope that Arc Heavy Burst Pulse Rifles somehow feel good to use next season. Nature Reclaimed will be available May 20th, so we're getting it. Actually, very soon we're getting it before the DLC dropped. For Inquisitor and Cruel Mercy, we're trying something a bit different. Oh, okay, so this is before the DLC drops. So Trials of Osiris will be back on May 13th, so... Oh, okay, and... Oh, well, okay, so just extra loot, 3 new guns. Oh, so these are going to be available within, like, the next, 2 weeks. Awesome, well, that makes me a little bit happier. And the Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, it's an alright emblem. I like it. Donate if you want to donate. Player support report. If you see a bug here, none of the bugs that... Steps 6 and 9 of the Drowning Labyrinth quest aren't available to be completed by some players. I have been plagued. I can't complete this. I can't finish my initiate. I can't focus loot in the Sunder Doctrine dungeon. So anyway, right on. That's disgusting. That's nasty. That's actually nasty. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Who wrote this one? Was it Bruna? Destiny 2 community team. Anyway, that's pretty much it. I hope to God that this video came out okay. This is going to be my first video on a brand new PC. I didn't even ship a Theseus this one. I just completely built a new computer. So I hope this is going to go well. All right, take care now.